never even.
Welcome to the D-pad.
Hey, I'm
it's
John.
a little fucking sparkle pony.
I
My
wish
Little
I
Pony
could catch
Vulpix.
him.
Gotta catch a mall.
Who's a mall?
The Mall of America.
I don't want to catch that mall.
A Mall of
You
America.
catch that mall like you catch a disease.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
It's just like a mecca of American consumerism.
There's also a roller coaster.
Oh, is there? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like half the. That's half the reason people go.
It's just so you can get to the shops faster.
Whoa. McDonald's! Chicken nugget! It's like, you want any sauce with that? Oh, no!
Catch!
Yeah. Just stick it out there. Someone loses an arm every week. So we're here on Mount Lanakila. John's doing a grindy grew.
Just doing a little grind.
It's a little grind.
Once everyone's in the 50s, I might try and
I think that you're asking to get
power
your ass
through.
kicked if you just wait until then.
So you think, what, 55?
My entire team was in the upper 50s, and I lost all of them, minus one.
Oh.
Like,
Snizzle.
if you're not ready, it's going to
Snizzle
fuck you.
dick. Oh, dude. Oh, he's dark. I should probably get out of here. Burn? Burninated? Ugh. Alright. I get it. Alright. Pokemans. Mucklesby.
Schmuckles.
Sonic and Schmuckles.
Yeah, man. Ah, man. You want to play some Sonic Mania from scratch all over again?
I wouldn't really mind if we had a reason.
Because
It's a fun game. We did play it like 3 times in a row.
we did. We didn't play with Tails as the main player.
Do.
Oh, man. All
Alright. Grindy grinds. So, let's see. What else is going on in our lives?
It's raining.
It sure fucking is, huh?
It's raining
Mario
a lot.
Odyssey is really cool.
Mario Odyssey is really cool.
I'm pretty happy with it.
I'm looking forward to putting my hands on it.
Nah. I don't think Lindsay and I are going to let you.
There were some slightly frustrating moments during that. I was like, just do this thing.
Yeah, I know. In her defense, she did really well not ever having played Mario 64.
She did fine. Wow, we're getting a fucking lot of them now.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't seem so special anymore.
I wonder what a shiny Ice Vulpix looks like. I bet it's red. I need to know. Whoa.
Ice Beam.
Vulpix. All right.
Should probably heal. I wish there was like a heal your dudes now that the battle's over.
That'd be neat. That would also be pretty cheap. Oh, you mean like just a button?
Just like it brings up a thing like use a potion.
Yeah.
You know, but it's okay.
I have no idea what the difference in a shiny Vulpix is for ice. It looks exactly the same to me.
All right, great. What do you think?
It's literally the exact same.
Okay.
And I'm trying to look to see if there's any actual details on this. Let's see. Shiny Alolan Vulpix. Be good if I could spell shiny. I spelled it shiny.
Close enough.
There's no way that's the only
Okay.
difference. It's shiny because it's got the absolute slightest purple hue.
Okay.
It is almost unfucking noticeable. Jesus Christ.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
And I'm not just saying this.
Well, you are, but what
Well,
are
I
you
am
saying?
just saying this. But we should house rule it so that if you encounter a shiny,
Yeah.
you can just legit catch it.
Yeah.
Because it's so... But, like, and then use it.
Oh, and use it?
Yeah, because it's so rare, right?
I
Like,
guess.
what? It's just a 1 in 100,000 chance. Like, it could
No,
happen
it's
to
like-
either of us.
It's like a 1 in 2,000 chance.
We've seen way more than 2,000
I
wild
know, it's kind of
Pokemon.
amazing. All right, that's a misconception on how odds actually work. If something is a 1 in 10 chance of happening, that doesn't mean I've done it 10 times, it should have happened by now.
No, but it means on average. Yeah.
Not even on average. So, I can even map this
This
one
is
out.
interesting.
already.
Yeah.
All right,
Explain it to
so-
me. Because I think about this shit all the time.
Here we go. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if something has a 10% chance of happening, and you do it and you attempt it 10 times, the odds of you actually succeeding in it are only about 65%.
Really?
Because the odds of failure are 90%. The odds of failing twice in a row are 90% times 90%. Odds of failing 3 times are 90% times 90% times 90%. It's never, ever going to just be
0.
guaranteed.
Yeah, well, it never goes down to 0. But
Right.
I guess that makes sense. I just
The
thought
odds of it happening in an isolated event are 1 in 10. It does not mean that
Right.
if you do it 10 times, it will happen once.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Statistics are really fucking complicated. I took a class in statistics and I didn't fucking get it, like, at all.
But that's your thing.
I know. Like, I got the basics
you're
of it,
a
but
statistics
there's, like,
guy.
I know. There's, like, p-values and n-values and all
Oh.
these weird proportions, and, like, there's literally a fairly solid rule on here's what an acceptable limit is before you can say something is likely. And the answer's not 50%.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be like 90 to 95% before you can say that something is reasonable to happen.
Weird.
Like, it's weird. But, like, it's got to do with crazy, like, exponential shit, and, like, there's all kinds of stuff that's in there that's, like, it's fucking wacky.
That is kooky.
I find it fascinating, but, yeah, like, if that's literally the same idea as saying, flip 2 coins, how come one of them wasn't heads? Even though there's only even though there's
well, we all know that it's
25%
not a
chance that wouldn't
guaranteed.
happen.
It just seems likely.
It seems likely.
Let's see. Right, same thing again. So Pokemon, Manischewitz. Gotta be careful. I'm gonna lose duh if I get into like the pattern of just hitting A a bunch of times. So okay, so if I flip a coin,
Yep.
it's a 50% chance
Yeah.
of heads. If I flip 2 coins, it's 50% times 50%,
Yep.
which
so
is
it's 25%
25%,
chance
right? Because it's like basically
of not heads.
Right.
Because they're saying 50% chance of failure
Right.
times a 50% chance of failing twice.
Well, it's also the same though, right? 50% chance of success times 50% chance of success.
No.
25% chance of success.
Because your description of success is heads, not all heads.
Oh, 1 in 2 attempts.
Yeah, 'cause
not
you could get
2 in
heads and
2
tails,
attempts.
tails and
Right.
heads, or heads and heads. But tails and tails will fail. It's interesting how this works out, though, because, like, if something has a 1% chance of happening
what the fuck
and you
is
do
this
it
move?
100 times, then that also has about a 64% chance of happening. 2, 3, 4.
That seems too low.
It seems like it approaches a certain value. I'm sure it's like some meaningful number, like e to the e or something. If something oh yeah, like look at so if something has a 1 in 1 million chance of happening, and you do it 1 million times, the odds of it happening are about 63.3%.
What is the significance of that number? Is that like a known constant? Because it sounds like you said if it's 1 in 10, it's the same.
1 in 10 would be about that same value. So I'm
are they
curious.
subtly different?
Let me try something here.
You know what I mean? Do you see what I'm asking? Like,
Yeah.
Attempting to do something 1 in X times, is it always 63.5% or whatever you said?
Say it one more time.
If I try and do something 1 in 10 times,
Yep.
is it 63.5%?
It's if you do something that has a 1 in 10% chance of happening and you do it 10 times.
Right. But that holds if it's 10, 100, or 1,000, or a million.
Yeah, so if you do something
It's always that same percentage,
yeah,
right?
if you do something that has a 1 in n chance of working and you do it n times, it seems to be approximately 62.2% chance.
But
of it
that
happening
percentage
over the
holds
course of all that.
constant regardless of what n is.
Regardless of n. Well, it's not constant, but it approaches that very quickly. Like at n is 10, that's like 64%. By the time you get to 100,
Okay.
it's like 62 point something.
So
and
it
it's already
is a moving
there.
target, which makes sense mathematically. Now
But
that
it's
I'm thinking
very,
about
very
it.
close
Yeah,
right
yeah.
away. Let's see if this turns up anywhere.
That is interesting.
Uh-huh,
Is there a way to figure out if you could do something 1 in infinity times, what the percentage would be? Does that make
Yes.
sense? 'Cause then
Well,
that number
not what
would
it exactly be, but you would find the number that it's close to. I just did it for like a trillion, and it comes out to something pretty close to that. Mathematical methods. I'm seeing this turn up in a couple spaces here, dealing with math and logic.
This shit
and-
is interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. It definitely does feel that way. Like if I do something, if it has a 50% chance and I do it 2 times, you would like that's easy to say. Like,
It's the reciprocal of E. It's literally 1 over E.
so interesting.
Math is so fucking weird that like constants that turn up everywhere are so bizarre. It's like
now interesting. So 1 over e is that number,
yes.
right? Is that anywhere related to the what is? Oh fuck! I used to 1.168 or 1.618 or whatever the golden ratio is.
Number. That's phi.
That's phi. Oh, okay, that's not related.
E is like 2.727, something like that.
And what else do we use e for?
Constant growth uses e. Compound interest.
And this e is not to be mistaken for the e that you see in scientific notation. Those are different.
No, it's a different one. Yeah, it's a different one. But yeah, e is for if you
fucking
compound interest. So one that is constant will grow, I believe, by the value. It'll be e-fold more at the end of 1 year, I believe.
But that doesn't make sense because interest is a moving target.
Yes.
So how would it always be e-fold more? It would
because
the
it's
amount more it
proportional.
would be. Oh, okay.
Sorry, we got this into a.
No, Rick is honestly so good at math that I find it fascinating to talk to him about it because I understand it in a lesser, more abstract sense, but I don't think of like the actual doing it.
So one of the coolest, coolest maybe being a relative term here, little formula equations that I've ever seen. I'm going to get this wrong, so I'm going to look it up just to verify here, but all right, here we go. So there's a neat equation that turns up as a lot of for a lot of like hobbyist math stuff of like it's an equation that uses the 5 most fundamental constants in math.
Okay.
And they all just happen to work out into this nice little thing, which is e to the I pi plus 1 equals 0.
E to the I pi plus 1 equals 0?
Yep.
That's crazy.
And it has to do with how circles work. It has to do with how you calculate the length of an arc on a circle, I think. I don't entirely remember what the basis is, but it has to do with like sines and cosines.
What's the definition of one? I'm sorry, of I again?
I is the square root of -1.
That's what it is.
So
okay.
e, this never-ending decimal, to the power of the square root of -1 times pi is equal to -1.
So weird.
It's such a bizarre fucking...
And like the fact that it lines up, it's like... I don't want to say it's like mysterious in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some of this shit is just amazing the way it all lines back up.
Yeah.
So Rick put a lot more skill points into math than I did. It's one of those things that like I was a little good at, but I wasn't interested enough to like really go for it. So it's like always cool to talk to you about that stuff because I find it.
I always wish that I did more with it.
Crazy. At one point, you were a math major, but you were like, "This fucking sucks."
It was mostly just I didn't finish it because like I was so busy trying to get other majors to work that I let it fall to the wayside, and then I realized all of a sudden it's like, oh, I need to finish my other major so I can fucking graduate.
Yeah.
And my thesis, so I was doing like a combined thesis with somebody else. They were going to graduate the year before I was, so it was like, what if? So my last quarter for the year is really busy. What if he does this quarter and then I pick it up for the first quarter of next year, and I just keep it going and I'll close it out myself?
Yeah.
And everyone agreed, and we're all like, fine. So he handles that. I come back the next year.
Belch is never good. It's like all that extra stuff, right?
I don't remember.
Stockpile and
I don't think it's related. I think it's separate. 120/90 needs a berry though, and it has to eat the hell berry. So I come back the next year and I go to my professor. I was like, all right, so how should we begin? He's like, all right, well, we should probably chart out the next 3 quarters so we can figure out how this project's going to work. I was like, well, no, I already did 2 quarters of work on this. I'm not starting over. I did 2/3 of this thing already. The last third was what we were splitting. He's like, oh no, we need to start over. I'm like, what? So I had to drop it. I didn't have 3 quarters of time to dump into it again.
Oh man, you should have got that in writing. I guess
I really should have. Yeah,
I had a similar thing happen. I took French in college just for fun. Honestly, it was completely for fun. Yeah, I didn't need it. I'd already fulfilled my language requirement. It didn't pertain to my major. Yeah, it was like 110% for giggles, and it was a 2-semester class. Okay, so if you took French, you just had to be in for both semesters to get credit for it. But halfway through, I realized that like I needed more classes for my actual major. So right at the end of the first semester, I was like, oh, like I'm not gonna I'm not going to continue on to French 2 or French 1A or 1B,
Yeah.
right? It's like, I'm not continuing. So I asked my teaching person.
Yeah.
I was like, my teacher, yeah. I don't know. She wasn't a professor, but she was something.
Okay.
And I was like,
Instructor,
hey.
I guess.
So I was like, hey, I'm not going to continue on into French 1B. I just don't have the time on my schedule, but I wasn't really taking this for credit anyway. So I'm not going to go to the final. Is that okay with you? And she's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. If you're not going to go into the next half, then yeah, don't bother.
Okay.
And long story short, I basically got written up and reported and
Whoa.
like almost like was told to take time off because I skipped the final.
Whoa.
And I was like, she said I could. And she was like, I didn't say that. And I was like,
Whoa.
oh, no. I was so mad. But like,
that's super shitty.
you know, and like, whatever,
not
like,
cool.
you know, she may not have even done it on purpose, but it was still like, always get that shit in writing.
Yeah. Damn, son.
Yeah. But it ended up being okay. It didn't really matter. Just kind of
Yeah.
made administrative things a little annoying for a while.
Yeah, I bet.
I was on, what was it called? Oh, I was on academic probation. That's what it was.
Oh, those are fun.
Because just because I skipped a thing that I didn't need for a course that I wasn't getting credit for.
That's
She said
so
I could
fucked
skip.
up.
I was just really
Yeah,
mad.
like,
Hey,
super
how
shitty.
about I attack?
I miss French too. I wish I did more of that.
Yeah, French was great.
I didn't do any of it in college. I did it in grade school and high school.
Yeah.
I'm very out of practice.
I love languages. I wish college worked totally differently, but was still a thing I could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the way it's structured, I think, is great for some people and not great for some other people, and I just, like, didn't benefit from the structure at all.
Yeah.
You know. I like to really dig into one topic. Like, maybe, like, my ideal place would be, like, hey, like, take 2 classes a semester and, like, go balls deep into them or something. Like, maybe I would be more interested in that, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It also took me really long. I struggled in college a little. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that was an issue for me too.
We both switched majors a bunch, right?
Yeah. So when I got there, I was math and physics, and then my sophomore
at the top of the
year,
hill.
I switched out of physics because like it was becoming apparent that it just wasn't working.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, which is a bummer because I liked it. I just was having trouble grasping some of the early stuff. And we did electromagnetism is such a fucking hard thing to get your brain around as a physicist, not as an electrical engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And we only had like 2 months to learn it. So, and then so I switched from that. I switched to math and interactive media and game design.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the problem was I was starting my sophomore year instead of my freshman year, which put me at a disadvantage. And then literally I did this for 2 years, and then I missed, like, in one of my last courses, I was in it for about 2 weeks, and then I had to skip a class because I was sick, and I came in, and the day that I missed was the day that everyone not only got into teams, but also started working on a small game, and I came in and I'm like, I am completely lost now.
Right. Oh, that sucks.
Missed one class, and that was enough to like screw me. And I was like, shit. And I tried, I just couldn't bring it back. So it was a brand new major. So if you missed any class, you had to make up that class, and it was only offered once a year. Oh, you're gonna get hailed.
Oh man!
Oh no! Unless this kills him, and then you maybe don't.
No, I think you get hailed either way.
Oh no!
Oh, that was so stupid.
Did you sturdy to one? Like, how did that just happen?
Luck, maybe?
Or was that just crazy luck?
Well, it's not crazy if this doesn't kill him.
Oh, okay,
But
all right.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna get hailed.
Maybe.
I'm gonna get hailed.
I think you're okay. Oh my God!
Oh wow!
Jesus Christ!
Just gonna real quick.
Maybe you should heal him up, and we can come back next time.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Bye.
Oh my God.